Lester, we gave you and stick to the prompter, Lester. Stick to the prompter.
You're listening to the Rubber Squid podcast presented by betsafe.net. Episodes 7 and 8.
Well, I'd like to start off by saying, Sang-woo, you son of a you are just terrible.
Yeah, he was disappointing, eh?
He was, well, whew, you got to wonder why he got in there in the first place. Okay, so listen, episode 7 is the VIPs episode. We talked about this. We previewed it last week.
So wait a second. Did we want to say welcome to the podcast or anything like that?
No, man. We get right into it. We get right into it.
Go right out of the intro.
We don't have time for pleasantries. Okay, welcome to the Squid Games podcast, Rubber Boots pod. Here we are. It is episode 7 and 8 for this particular recap. Episode 7 of the Squid Games is the VIPs episode. My goodness, what an episode.
Brought to you by betsafe.net.
betsafe.net.
Brought to you by betsafe.net.
I mean, not Squid Game. I don't think they sponsored that show.
Ooh.
Well, we would know in translation, but the podcast is brought to you by betsafe.net.
Mm-hmm.
So sure enough, they come back from the last game. Of course, the marbles. Our hero is grief stricken by the fact that he has had to kill his friend and so on and so forth. We come back and we find out my prediction. By the way, Neo, is that correct, Stoff? Am I saying that correctly? The woman that we thought,
the lady.
We butchered every name on. We butchered every name on the show.
I don't say names.
Apologies to the Korean community. But listen, we predicted correctly that she would still live, that she was not killed. It was not her fault that there was an odd number of people, so she's still alive. Great news.
Who predicted that? Once somebody said that was true.
We both. I think Lester and I both kind of. I think you could kind of see that one coming, though. That was.
Let's see. Okay.
I thought she was dead.
Hold on. Let's be real. The first rule of television, in general, is if you don't die on screen, you don't die for the most part, right? I mean, it's an old soap. Even in soap operas, you die on screen. No, like if you die, you have to be seen dying to be dead. If there's a cliffhanger when you don't know someone's dead.
What about player one?
Tony Soprano.
No, hold on. What about in this series, player one? We don't see him die. The old man. He dies off screen.
You hear the shot, though. You hear the shot.
Yeah, fired in the air.
That's true.
Ooh, old man's coming back. You heard it here first.
No way.
He's alive.
That would blow my mind.
The old man is behind it all.
He might be the game one, the first winner.
Okay, maybe there's exceptions, but for the most part, people who if you think they might not be dead, they're usually not dead, which will bring us to something else I'm going to ask you guys that might break that rule later in episode 7, I think, or episode 8. Anyway, continue, Lester. I'm sorry. So yes,
no, it's no problem at all. So,
she's alive.
Yeah, so she's alive, and it's great. Yeah, the dude that's just playing with his wife, he ends up left there. He's grief stricken. He hangs himself. They try to talk to him and say, which was what I would do. I'd say, listen, buddy, you've come this far. You've made the sacrifice to your wife. You owe it to your wife to continue this game and not throw in a towel. And to me, by throwing in a towel, why didn't you do it when your wife was alive? Sacrifice yourself for your wife if you're going to do that at the end of the day. That's
okay. Here's a question. What would Brooksy want us to do? What would Tanya want us to do? What would Nicole want us to do?
Give them our marbles.
Yeah,
that's what they want us.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have. I would have been about 2 minutes in. She would have been like, "Thank you very much," and see you later. Time for you. Yeah, I would have made it out of their life. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we'd all sacrifice ourselves, but just between the three of us, Brooksy and I am the breadwinner. I mean, what's the more logical decision?
Well,
wow.
She'll have a lot of billions to
quite frankly,
butter that bread on after.
You die and then
she just sells the bags. A bag a year will cover
exactly.
it.
No, we'd all sacrifice ourselves for our lovely brides. We know that.
I think I would. I think I would certainly. So anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, they go back. So the one guy kills himself. and there's 16 players left.
Stoff already sick of Lester's recap as
oh my God.
So
he started watching episode 9.
While they're preparing for the next game, we get introduced to the VIPs. The VIPs are these very mysterious men. No females, first of all. To my eye, predominantly white men, rich, wealthy men. Am I correct?
Of course, you thought they're white guys.
I want to say
this is offensive.
They could
all
be
wearing
in white.
masks, by the way.
They could be in whiteface.
Whenever the VIPs and the frontman speak, we should point out it's not dubbed. It's always in English.
Yes,
like
always
those are
English.
They're meant to speak in English. Basically,
I want to say. I think it was Stoff that absolutely nailed this last week. That they were all rich Americans. Basically, it sounds like, right?
That's kind of what it looks like they're making it out to be. However,
did you read ahead on Wikipedia?
I think you read ahead. No. That's a good call. Not the best call so far, but a good call.
It's funny because in a bit we'll find out who the frontman is, but I did that based off the fact the frontman spoke English pretty well.
Yes.
So I just figured he was American, so I was kind of wrong on that one.
I didn't put that one together.
Let's move ahead. Look, because
one second. About the VIPs, they have now jumped to the pole position of worst actors on the show.
Yeah,
they were atrocious.
So maybe let's touch on that for a second. Not just the acting, the overall introduction to the VIPs kind of starts to ruin the show.
Mm-hmm.
That, like the jokes about the 69.
Yeah.
So poorly written. So
it was terrible.
I think they went out of their ways to really make these guys the bad guys. So it's just very clear. But
I also think there might have been something lost in the language there where a South Korean is writing the show.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, they bring in, maybe the guy speaks English. I guess he does. And so, if we had a basic knowledge of South Korean and we're trying to write jokes or whatever, they would always probably be terrible.
That's
right.
True.
I think that's not an excuse for it, but I'm just saying that it felt like it was just a terrible use of a second language by the writers. Mm-hmm. Basically,
I think you're being a little generous.
I look really seductive in this pose, don't I? I thought I wasn't going to look, but now I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
Let me see your eyes. Mm-hmm. Anyway, listen. I thought it was funny. Our renegade police officer, he's infiltrated the VIP reception. He is now posing as a waiter. Yes. And one of the VIP gentlemen is very taken with him to the point where he asks him to sit down beside him. And basically, there is a invitation for some type of sexual
he's a creep.
Situation.
He's
very, very creepy.
He's a creep.
And basically our hero intercepts stops the sexual encounter. And he says, you tell me everything you know and I won't kill you, that type of thing.
Right.
So very interesting. Again, this is all in an effort to make these people look as creepy as possible. The VIPs, I mean. So, but to get to the fifth game, which I think it is a game where you have to, the contestants are invited to a room. They see 16 bibs 16 bibs, we'll call it that. And they're invited to the best. Yeah, they're invited to choose from 1 to 16. And of course, they don't know what the game is. So there's people that are saying, okay, let's go in the middle. So there's a huge rush to pick the numbers in the middle.
Mm-hmm. So what would you Stoff ask the question here? So the four of us are in that game. All right.
We don't know what the game is yet.
We don't know anything about the game. Our lives are on the line. Mm-hmm. What would your instinct be as to what vest to choose? Lester?
15. Oh,
what would you do?
Yeah, I would go towards I would go 15, 16. Yeah, I would.
Stop.
You don't know what the game is.
Puffy?
I'm probably going lucky number 7, which in this case would be a death sentence.
I think. My temptation would. I mean, I'm not sure if I'd be this smart on the spot, but I think the smartest thing to do would be to take 8, 9 right in the middle, right? 8, 9 set. Because when you don't know what the game is, you are increasing your odds of having a chance. Mm-hmm. Right.
And that was the first stampede, yes. And
if you go for 1 or 16, then you could have a decisive advantage in the game, or you'd have a good chance to be completely dead. So at least going in the middle would, now, so if let's say I'd taken 9, would I be dead in that game?
Yeah,
Probably, right?
Oh, 100%.
I mean, only
Probably.
the last 3 people survived. So yes.
Yeah.
So only
Right.
14, 15, 16 survived.
Right.
Your odds are definitely increased, I guess, once we find out what the game is. But in general, they were saying that it's better to pick the middle numbers. But in what game would you be disadvantaged to go at the end? You get to see what everyone else is doing. And also in these games, clearly everyone is being killed off. So the sooner
but you don't know what the game is. Like, it could be a treasure hunt, and the first guy gets to go in the first position, and there's only so many little eggs out there, and 16 you're last or whatever.
All the games have had like time limits for well, not all of them, but a lot of them. So maybe you'd run out of time. You'd have less.
Yeah, so the time thing is the one thing I guess that could discourage you from it, but I just think you definitely don't want to be the first couple, because usually you see that people die early on and there's always some sort of twist. I think you want to see it play out as much as possible.
Exactly. Yeah, they think about a round of golf, for example. You are the last foursome or whatever. You want, you can see.
Do you think that's all I can relate to? You think that's the only metaphor I get?
Probably.
I thought it was a pretty good example.
Right. No, you're right.
Lester was going to use love, but he went with golf instead.
So anyway, our hero takes the last number 16. And in fact, this is an interesting thing because he's going to take number 1. And then one of the guy that ends up being number 1 says, hey, listen, I've been, I've been following everybody else for all my life. I want to be first at something. Can I go first? So they end up switching. And sure enough, the game is there's a huge bridge and there's glass.
And with every step, you have a chance to step on a piece of glass that will shatter and you'll fall, or you make it to the next step and you have to go in the order of the bests.
Right. So, of course, if you're number 1, holy
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what so
imagine if the first guy nailed it, though. That would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. So here's the one thing. That would be kind of scary for me if I'm towards the back, because I don't know if I could remember every step he took.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
For me, that's the most terrifying part if you're watching it, that
100%.
if the people in front of you aren't dying, you have to remember the movements. And that does actually happen with one contestant later on, where they struggle to remember what he did because he kind of ran through a bunch of them.
Yeah, sure. Which I for sure would have been busted on that one. I would have been dead. I wouldn't have been.
By the way, the fact that they turned, was it on the lights or off the lights, so the guy couldn't tell what kind of glass it was, the glass guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was kind of shades of the Hunger Games too, right? Where they alter the state of the of the situation, right?
And the only thing is, I didn't like that because they made a point of saying that everything they're doing is fair.
Right.
Yes.
And I thought then all of a sudden they made it unfair for someone who.
Well,
happened to have
you could say that guy had an unfair advantage over all.
Exactly.
But they knew his situation before the game. Well, it wasn't like he had hid.
Well, they looked up his file and they saw that he was a glassmaker, right? So
here's my thing with that. It's not. I look at more so like from the standpoint of the rich people who are betting on this as well.
Yeah.
How can you change the rules in the middle of the game where I just put $10 million on this one guy?
And I had that
screwing
guy
him over. Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
Puffy would be pissed.
The rich always get screwed. It's bullshit.
He would have cashed out though at about.
I would have.
The 12th piece of glass.
I would have taken my winnings.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the guys firing the glass and when the 3 winners? Oh, sorry.
Hold on.
Didn't like that either.
Sorry, hold on a second though. I think we need to cover something that I think is very important because we mentioned that our one of the women that stayed alive, she wasn't paired off in the marbles. She lives, and if you remember, she is the woman that sleeps with or has sex with Dak-Su. And I said I had a feeling that she would take Dak-Su out. And sure enough,
to be fair, Lester, she said it repeatedly throughout the show.
Well,
I think we all saw it coming. Right before killing him, she said, "I told you I would kill you
for the 9th time."
Don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh.
Lester, but you did call it. You did.
Lester, I'm still giving you credit, even though these clowns aren't. Okay.
You did catch that one.
I'm giving you credit, Lester. You nailed that, baby.
But anyway, I found that the way that she killed him was spectacular because, of course, he gets to the front of the line. He holds everybody for ransom and the whole bit. He's going to try to take over the game. And he pushes one guy off and he dies.
Yeah.
And he jumps to the next level. And then she jumps onto his platform and basically holds on to him. And you would think that he would be strong enough to push her off, but she's holding him close enough and tight enough that he can't get any leverage. And she basically shifts her weight. And that's how she kills him. It's so awesome.
She also tells him he has a small dick right before she.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true too. That's true.
Which was a great move.
Yeah.
I think that's worse than killing a person. Why would you do that? That's so mean.
It was.
Poor Doxu.
But anyway,
now, do you guys think Doxu's kind of an idiot for letting her on his platform? Because he's like, "Oh, you're gonna go first? Sure, get up here." Like, how could
how could you not see that coming? Unless she doesn't think she's gonna kill herself. That would be the only rationale for that, right? Was this girl dumb enough she's going to die to take me with her?
Well, she knew, but she knew that she wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't care at that point. She just wanted to kill him. Her need to kill him outweighed her need to live. That's in my humble opinion. That's what I think. But anyway,
I would do that to Puffy if it was the four of us left, and I knew I'd just jump around on his platform.
So at one point, it's our hero, the woman that the woman that pickpockets him, and then Sam Woo, and then one other guy.
Yeah,
and they are close to the end of this maze, and the one guy's in front, the glass maker. As you said, Jimmy, they turned down the light, so he's struggling to figure out which one it is. And that son of a Sang-woo pushes him and kills him.
Yeah, he really his arc, his story arc in this series, has really gone like a complete.
Okay,
180.
so let's go to that one point there because he pushes him over, but there's 9 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah,
and they all have to get through.
Yeah,
if he doesn't push him, odds are that all four of them die.
For sure.
100%.
That glass 100%. Guy's probably not after being able to tell all those spots and now realizing he can't. I don't think he's able to make that decision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right.
You're right. I suppose you could look back at Sang-woo, not knowing what his fate will be yet by the end of these episodes, and you could rationalize everything he's done, basically, right? As this is the whole point of this game, right?
And yes, you can, but in other spots, he maliciously people over. This was the one time I think it was actual about basic survival because the guy was in his way. The guy was standing in the way of him surviving.
It's it's like villains on Survivor or Big Brother or whatever, right? In the end, like remember in the first years, oh my God, this guy's a real
higher
villain.
Stakes.
But of course, the stakes are higher. But I'm just saying, you hate the guy. But that's what the point of the game.
Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing with Jimmy's eyes?
What's going on?
Like you can see your eyes through your shades. They look like huge saucers. Like for me.
I don't see it at all.
Oh, when he was
at all.
I should probably tell people since Lester started this podcast so
Maybe
abruptly. I'm at the hernia hospital, what I call hernia prison. I had my hernia surgery yesterday. I'll save my hernia story for the podcast in 2 days when I'll probably be wearing the same thing in the exact same position on the same bench.
Yes.
But that's why I'm lying this way and not in my usual office. Are your boxes all screwed up now? Wait a second.
No, you're fine.
My head's starting to spin, but
all right. Sorry, Lester. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Where are we?
No worries. So anyway, our three contestants make it through, and then as they cross, the entire bridge blows up, sending shards of glass everywhere.
Did
they
not
shoot it with like AKs, didn't they?
No.
It looks like they explode. There's some sort of explosion. Now, just before we get to that part, in terms of the overall game, I thought it was actually pretty challenging to have to jump from one glass thing to another, let alone if you're going to fall through or not. My momentum would have taken me over the next one.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Especially with the nerves like that. Like, that was a tough game.
What if you had no leaping ability, right? Like, I was never good at the standing long jump in the Canada Fitness Challenge when I was in grade 6.
Or you mistime it.
Yeah. So you could be in big trouble.
There's no way the old man survives that game, right? Like, there's no way he.
He would have been dead.
You know what I mean? So,
checked out early because he knew he couldn't win that game.
Who knows?
I think that would be. I would watch that particular competition on primetime TV though. Like as long as there was like a giant
octopus.
No. like a big thing you'd fall into? That would break your fall.
What, like a net? You mean?
Not a net or no, but more. I'm picturing more like cushions.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
you know what I mean?
A pool of acid.
Well, a thing, like a cushion.
A giant octopus.
Look at Jimmy trying not to laugh.
No.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
It hurts so much.
Oh my God. That is
like a 6-inch wound in my groin.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's right. Because that'd be cool.
That's what. Okay, obviously North America should do it, but if you're in South Korea right now, or in Asia, they already have crazy game shows. More in Japan, but you should be doing everything on this. Well, not everything on this show, but the most entertaining games on this show should be done without the death, obviously. And it would be super fun to watch.
It'd be great to watch.
And I mean, the way they set it up here already, you could envision this being like a 2-week event where these people actually live on premises, and it's like the Big Brother reality show type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just head into
part of it.
Every night there's a different game, and people get eliminated.
And you have like $5 million prize at the end. And imagine doing that game in the glass. Like, it'd be so freaky.
Maybe we can still save Murder Island and do it as ourselves, the series, except we'd probably owe 90% of the revenue to the producers of Squid Game.
Well, we just say Murder Island as seen on Squid Game.
We'll have different symbols on our masks. People won't be able to tell.
Right.
So, all right. Anyway, just to wrap up this episode. So they survived and everything, but obviously we're worried about casualties from this class. Our cop friend has either killed the guy who's trying to sexually assault him, or injured him very badly. He's taken off. He's taken a tank. He's gone underneath the island, and he is on his way out to try to get some help and some backup, because he feels he has enough information at this point to call in the police. So that's where we are. That's the end of episode 7.
Yeah.
Episode 8 starts with our friend. He reaches an island. Our cop friend, he reaches an island. By the way, they're tracking him via his scuba gear, because of course the scuba gear has tracking information, so they can make sure everybody's on the same page. He gets to an island and he runs up shore to try to make contact. He actually does make contact with the Korean police, and he's talking to them, and we're not sure. He sent some pictures and some information. We're not sure if that information gets through. To finish off the arc, it ends up that the front man and a bunch of security show up on the island. They eventually confront him, and the front man takes off his masks and says, our hero police officer is saying, I'll come with me. You're under arrest, blah, blah, blah. And our front man takes off the mask and says, you come with me and I'll make this right. And he takes off his mask, and it's the brother he's been looking for. So his brother,
predicted by the sky.
That's predicted.
Another one that was pretty predictable, but okay.
Whoa! No way! None of you guys were thinking that.
The moment that the cop thought that his brother was one of the people killed because it was a kidney transplant or something, and as soon as they said, "Oh, that wasn't your brother," you knew it was the guy. I thought it was the guy.
If only you were on a wildly popular podcast that discusses the show, you could have made that proclamation.
Well, I watched. I'm the only one of the podcasts who watched the whole show. You idiot!
Well, you still could have done it.
When this thing is over, you won't believe the things that I've kept from you guys with a straight face. It's unbelievable.
Well, we appreciate that. But to avoid any more spoilers, let me continue on with this recap. Okay. So, sure enough, front man, it's, oh my God, it's my brother, blah, 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 blah. He has a choice at that point. The front man shoots the brother, and the brother falls into the water. Do we know he's dead?
So that's what I'm saying. Do you, as soon as,
I'm not convinced he's dead.
Yeah, well, again, you go back to my original rule. If he was dead, then why he should have shot him in the head or whatever. If he shot him in the shoulder, now he falls off a massive cliff. But we don't. What do we see? The front man sort of walks to the edge and looks down, and that's it.
Yes,
basically.
Correct.
I don't know if we even see him.
I don't think he watched. I don't know if.
And the one other thing I'll tell you is they never confiscate the phone. Right.
That's true. That's true.
He falls with the phone.
Yeah,
the form that he has all the his notes of masks, violence, games.
Extensive notes.
You know, the funny thing is, as the show went on, I've been taking notes on my phone, and that's how I started making
very
them
similar.
too. I'm like, mask guy, bad. 69, not funny.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you think the fate of the police officer is going to be resolved in the final episode of the show?
Yes, I do. And listen, they've left it open-ended. They have. Let's face it. You're right, now, Jimmy. We don't know if this guy is done.
Yes, makes me believe it won't.
Makes me believe that perhaps.
Thanks for ruining the final.
We learn that he's alive, but it teases a season 2, perhaps.
I can't. Like I said, I've been really good about keeping you guys guessing. I can't give away anything.
Okay.
We'll see. But anyway,
all right, so
getting back to getting back to our 3 contestants.
Oh yes.
And by the way, this episode was a little bit slow, but and pretty
short.
good. So our 3 contestants.
Yeah. So is the recap.
It was weird.
Yeah.
The recap's longer than the episode.
And it's revealed that the female has a massive piece of glass in her abdomen. She pulls it out, and somehow she bandages it to the point where she can go back to her quarters.
It's your classic bathroom cleanup scene.
Yes, but exactly. Hold on. Again, what's the point of blowing up the bridge when 3 of them are there? So you can die with a gaping glass wound. Like, I mean, they won the game. Let them win the game.
And it's also, I mean, it's. I think this whole thing and we see happen a bit. They want 2 people for the final and not 3. That's what it starts to appear like to me. But when you're blowing up the bridge, you can't control where those shards are going to fly.
You could lose all of them. You could lose
exactly it. Yeah, you could lose all of them.
It's a little bit weird, but I think you have to put your sinister hat on here and say that these guys, it's all about their entertainment and all about their amusement, and whatever happens. And I mean, it's weird because we're talking about having a level playing field, but how is the playing field level if some people, one person is basically dying from a shard of glass and the other 2 are fine? It is a little bit weird stuff, and I do agree. And it seems a little bit cruel and unusual.
To me, that was a bit of a plot hole. Or I always put myself in the mind of the writer, and I think that they couldn't figure out a way to get down to 2 people. I mean, I guess he could have just killed her anyway. Could have just killed her without the glass part. But I think they sort of added that bit to help her die and move along the finale.
I think there's also some shock value to the fact that they would do this right at the end of the game.
Sure.
Maybe it also lends to the fact if, let's say, they all got through with 3 minutes left, they would have had time to leave that platform, and that would have never happened to them. I don't know.
Sure.
I also want to say before I forget, and while I'm walking, that here at the hernia hospital, which I'll get into on our full episode on Thursday,
2 days away,
everybody, including myself, walks like the old man in Squid Game. And that's all I think of.
You should play red light, green light there.
We all walk around like this the entire day. There's hilarious. Like 60 men. Anyway.
Do they give you the same clothes to wear too? Like the suits, the green suits? I'm just curious.
Would that scare the crap out of you?
That'd be amazing. Just turn it into a Squid Game.
All right, let's move through the second episode a little quicker, please, because I'm going to get arrested by the.
No. So just to finish up, they get back to the quarters. They're presented with basically tuxedos, and they're told that they're going to have a special surprise. The special surprise is this unbelievable gourmet meal that's cooked for them. Sang-woo eats his. Our hero eats his. Of course, the female, she's got significant injuries in her abdomen. She barely eats her food. They get back to the dorm area, and our hero is talking to her. And then at that point, he realizes that she's injured. She shows him the wound. They both notice that Sang-woo falls asleep, and our hero is going to try to kill Sang-woo, and she stops him and says, "That's not you. Don't do it." He goes back to her, and he sees that she is bleeding and she's really bad shape, and she looks like she's dying. He runs to the door to get some help. He's banging on the door. Finally, the door opens up. You see one officer, and then behind him walks in a crew with a coffin. Why? Because we turn around, we see that Sang-woo, that son of a has killed this woman.
By the way, I know you're using our hero because you just can't think of his name. And
correct.
To me, she is more of a hero than the actual lead character in the show. Really, if you think about it.
Well,
she acts more nobly the entire show.
She's the most selfless person on the show. Oddly enough, she's
far.
a pickpocketer, but
yeah. Well, her and actually the other girl too. Yeah,
but how the girl who gave her life basically is the most selfless person.
Yeah.
So sure enough, Sang-woo has killed this woman. He's taken his knife. And by the way, they're all given knives at the end of their dinner. That's the other thing we have to. So obviously,
they have some big nice steak dinner. The three of them, right?
Yeah. That's right. I mentioned that. But we have.
He's on the drugs. He's
on a lot of dope right now.
All left with,
and it's all wearing off because this thing's taking so long.
That's where
they only shot him up with 2 hours worth of it.
I gotta have to get drugged up again before the next fucking episode.
So anyway, we left that we have the two contestants left, and also we do flash back to the front man. He's got his mask off, and he is reliving the fact that he has just shot his brother. So there's some foreshadowing there. And now we are left to go to episode 9. Is that a fair recap, gentlemen?
That is a fair recap. I have a question for you guys. Maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but at the beginning in episode 1, when they get to the island, are they not told that there are 5 games for them to get?
Yes,
and whoever gets
that's what I thought. Yeah,
likes the money.
That's what I thought. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that's
I thought so too. Is that just a flaw in the show?
I don't know, but they definitely said 5 at the very beginning.
I thought they said 5 as well.
It almost feels like they said 5, but once then there was more than one survivor, they have to narrow it down even more.
Yeah, but they never really explain that on the show, and they don't explain it. I don't believe in the next episode either.
Here's what I think, and just thinking about this right now. At that time, they said there are 5 games, but if you recall, they all go home, right? They all go home at the end of episode 2.
After one game, yeah.
After one game. So when they come back, perhaps it's a fresh set of downs, 5 games, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Could be.
I suppose. No, because I
like the football analogy.
They say they're resuming the game. I'm pretty sure.
That's true. That's true.
We should somebody look that up online. Maybe one of our listeners can, because there's everything's online. So probably somebody's had the same question that we had.
Maybe it's a translation thing. Maybe 5 and 6.
Look how beautiful this is. Doesn't look like I'm at Augusta National, Puffy.
Looks like you're on a golf course.
The grounds of this place are fantastic.
Looks like a low security facility.
It is. Okay, let's quickly run through the other episode.
That is it. That's it.
Oh, that's it? We did them both? Sorry, we did both episodes there? All right.
Jesus.
I didn't know. It didn't feel long.
You wait till you re-listen to this episode.
I thought that was all in one episode.
Listen, this is it. We don't need to do anything else.
Hold on, we're doing another one. We could have done a table reading of the episode, and it would have been shorter.
Where did the one episode end and the other episode start in that little recap?
The one ended
when Lester paused and said, "This is where the next episode starts."
Oh.
Did I forget anything?
Seriously, there's like a Dr. Feelgood, right? At the nurses at Dr. Feelgood at the counter. So basically, you just can go up every couple hours and say, "Dr. Feelgood, what can I have?" And they look at your chart and they just give you like 2. There's like extra strength Tylenol, extra strength Advil, and then there's an extra one I can't remember what the name of it is. It's the heavy. But
what have you been taking?
I've been going Tylenol and Advil, but like at probably more rapid rates than they're recommended. Like every 2 hours, I'll get like 2 extra strength Tylenol, and then 2 hours later, I'll get 2 extra strength Advil, and then 2 hours later, I'll get 2 extra strength Tylenol. So
careful, those prescription drugs, they can get you.
Right, get hooked. Now,
okay, so we're down to one episode.
We're done with 2 episodes. Both episodes for this episode, we're done. I just have 2 questions for you guys here that I was faced with at the end of all this. It's revealed that the front man is the cop's brother, as we said. We already know that this is a gentleman who won the Squid Games a couple years ago. So someone wins all this life-changing money, gets them out of debt, makes them rich. Why on earth would they return to the island, and why would they take place as the front man? Is this something that's tradition? Even more so, obviously, they already seen a great deal of death when they went and won the first time. Why would you ever want to relive that? So are they coerced into this somehow? Do they need more money? How does the island retain them in that way?
Well, that's what we're going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah. Do they? Oh, they say that? They tell you?
I can't tell you whether they say that or don't say
well,
that.
They do. Well, if you've only watched one more episode, then obviously they do, because you just basically told us that.
Here's what I was.
Or am I playing with your heads?
No, you
could be. Look, I think. Listen, let's take Darth Vader as an example, right? Once you wipe out a bunch of Jedis, and you become Darth Vader, where else can you go except stay in it? You know what I mean? And I know it sounds a little. It's a weird analogy, but I just think he's at this point he's come so far. They own you. What are you going to do? What is your life going to be like if you go back? Like, how can you ever escape that?
Well, so I also had a theory, and this might be way off, but maybe when they win at the end, right when they're given the money, they're presented with like a video of everything they did to get the money.
Yeah, because it's probably illegal. Yeah.
See that guy on the bench way down there?
Yeah.
You guys see him?
Yeah.
No,
I don't.
Oh.
I can.
Yeah, you know how sometimes you make friends at the hernia hospital, right? Because they're all in it together.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's become friends with Jimmy, but he kind of won't let Jimmy go.
Oh.
So Jimmy goes outside, he goes outside.
Oh.
So that's why I'm walking around the woods right now, because
Jimmy, Puffy, he's coming closer. Jimmy's on your heels.
Puffy, are you sure you saw someone there? Because me and Lester don't see anybody.
I don't see anybody.
Jesus, there's nobody on the benches.
Jimmy sees dead people now.
I don't know this from experience, but be careful in the yard, eh?
I feel like I already took the shiv, buddy.
You bring a shiv with you.
You would take the shiv right now to make it all go away.
All right, so the full hernia experience is a tease. Oh, what a tease this is. What it's like to get a hernia coming up in what the hell episode is of Rubber Boots podcast we're doing this week, buddy?
5, 6, and 7.
What? We're recapping.
We're doing 3 episodes.
We're recapping our last episodes.
Yeah. That's all we do now. We just do recaps of shows.
All right.
You're mean.
Shit, he's going into the woods. He's left the bench and now he's going into the woods. He's going to circle around and get me.
He's got you.
My buddy.
Jimmy, please don't wander too far.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you next time on what's this called?
Rubber Squid.
I'll be straight.
I'm very excited. I'm excited about seeing this finale.
I'm watching the finale tonight.
Yeah, this was the first time.
Wait till tomorrow.
That I was like, when I finished the episode, I almost skipped ahead and cheated.
We should have recorded the last episode right after you guys watched the finale, so you're all excited and fresh and had it all in your heads.
Yeah, I watched it too early.
Yeah,
well, we can do that. We can do that.
No, we can't.
We'll just come down to the hernia clinic.
Yeah.
Do it live.
That would be alert. We'll do it live.
We'll watch it together.
All right, boys. We'll see you next week in the final episode of the Rubber Squids.
You've been listening to the Rubber Squid podcast, presented by betsafe.net. Join us next week for the finale, episode 9 of Squid Game.
Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight?